reports that a device that seemed suspicious turned out to be nothing.
A peace deal in Pakistan between the government and Taliban fighters broke down overnight. It is the latest of several new signs of al-Qaeda's growing strength in that area. Are they preparing for new attacks against the United States? Joining me from Washington is CNN terrorism analyst Peter Bergen. And Peter, what do you think the upshot of this destruction of this agreement is going to be? The Taliban says that it's going to declare all a guerrilla war against the Pakistani government.
Yeah, well, the peace agreement which was signed back in September of last year wasn't much of a peace agreement in the first place. According to U.S. military officials in Afghanistan, attacks from that area into Afghanistan went up 300%. Now, even if that figure is exaggerated, clearly this peace agreement tended to favor the Taliban and al-Qaeda in the area of the Pakistani tribal areas where this peace agreement was first signed. Now this agreement is broken down entirely, and there are now attacks against Pakistani police officers and Pakistani government officials in this area. But anyway, I think the bottom line, John, is that the peace agreement was really just a paper. It didn't really mean very much, and now it appears to mean even less.
Peter, U.S. officials didn't seem to be too upset that this had broken down. Here's what National Security Advisor Stephen Hadley said about it yesterday.
The truth is, it did not work. And what we've seen, pooling of the Taliban, training, operational planning. President Musharraf understands it has not worked. We understand it has not worked.
So what do you expect is going to happen now, Peter? Will U.S. officials lean on Musharraf to do more to crack down in that area?
Well, I think Musharraf himself is going to do more to crack down on that area. There are news reports that thousands or even tens of thousands of Pakistani soldiers are moving into this region. Musharraf has indicated in a recent speech that he is prepared to crack down on extremism. This is, in fact, the speech that he gave after the attack on the Red Mosque in Islamabad. He says that there is now going to be a larger campaign to wipe out extremists in the tribal regions and other parts of Pakistan. The Pakistani government has tried to do this in the past. It's not always been successful. There's always a question in Pakistan, John, whether it's a lack of will or a lack of capability when the government says it's going to crack down on extremism. But certainly Musharraf has indicated with the attack on the Red Mosque and now with his speech that he's planning to do more than he's done perhaps in the past.
Now, Peter, what do you make of this new bin Laden tape that came out over the weekend? We don't know how old it is. Is it just symbolic? Is it a signal? Is it a message?
Well, the new bin Laden tape that came out is certainly it's new footage. I don't think we've seen this footage before, but I think this could have been filmed any time in the last 6 years. It's clearly not a new quote-unquote tape. I think it's puzzling we haven't heard from bin Laden since the July of 2006, the last time we had an audio tape from him. On the other hand, I think he's made the calculation that every time he releases a new tape, it means that he's perhaps open to being detected. Ayman al-Zawahiri, his number 2, has released tape almost a week, or even sometimes twice a week, as happened last week, John. But every time you release one of these tapes, the chain of custody of these can be traced and you can be found. And Ayman al-Zawahiri was the subject of a pretty serious attempt to kill him back in January, and he wasn't actually killed, but I think Ayman al-Zawahiri is somebody that U.S. and other intelligence agencies has sort of a bead on, whereas with Osama bin Laden the trail is very much cold, John.
Right. Peter Bergen for us this morning from our bureau in Washington. Peter, good to see you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, some questions.